What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to Some Dungeon Defenders Awakened. One of the first things this community development team did with their recent updates to DDA is adding in golden pets. One of the ones I was very excited about checking out, and still am, is the Golden Monkey King. Now, this Monkey King is going to roll with a random element attached, and it has higher scaling than a fused one. I haven't gotten an incredibly good one yet. This is the best one I've seen so far, so I haven't really been able to do a side-by-side comparison on a regular fused one. However, this guy is my best guy so far. So let's jump on in. I'll show you all what I've been doing for the Monkey King farm. Now, this one has been tested as 2-player. I have not tested the build any higher than that, and it is without a doubt a high stat build. With that in mind, you can go incredibly high on this map. However, there's one huge problem, and that problem is the map runs incredibly slow. So I would not suggest this one for an Eddy or a Corgi farm at all. However, getting Wave 100 done is not too terrible on Dune Eater difficulty to go after some of those Golden Monkey Kings. But let's go ahead and get it going here. I'm going to start off with, the usual, so to speak. We're going with an Ensnare Aura, an Electric Aura, an Explosive Trap, and a Poison Trap. I'm going to give all these guys their own buff beam. And then I like to do this one as a 2-stack build. You don't necessarily have to. You could move this stack up to like halfway up the stair, or maybe even right here, and then sit on it with a Striking Gemstone and get away with a 1-stack build. That, of course, would allow you a little bit more damaging defenses. However, I feel like although the map does run super slow with this build, it's very safe. So, safety, of course, is always a good thing. Additionally, it allows me to run the build pretty much completely AFK. This one, if you go 1-player, you're going to want to sit with a Striking Gemstone on this stack. And if you go 2-player, you're going to want to have each player sitting on each individual stack with a Striking Gemstone. So we got our 2 basic stacks in. We're going to throw a root down right here. And I'm going to go ahead and get that upgraded all the way. That way, we can get our placements in where I want on other defenses. Now, if we come over to this side, I've experimented with doing this on both sides. One of the things is I did want something going down below and hitting enemies down there. I tried doing it on both sides of the core, and I didn't get that great of results when I did it over on this side. So I'm just going with 1 stack by this core. Now, the first thing we want to do, of course, is give it some protection. So we're going to get a Siren in there. You can move it. If you've got an 8/8 rune, you can just plop it down. If you don't have an 8/8 rune, you're going to want to move it up a little bit closer to give yourself some good protection. And then, oddly enough, I usually put the buff beam down first over here, as it is a little tricky to place right on the ledges. But we can go with a 3DU buff beam right there. And then we're going to give this one 6 owls. Now, as I mentioned, this is a high stat build. I don't know what the minimum stat requirement is to run it. I've taken this build up to about wave 400. And it ran. Like I said, it just runs so slow is the problem. So we're going to go with some owls over there. And then we're going to get ourselves a little ogre protection in. Now, I have got my owls set to special, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, the owls are set on special. And we're going to be using some beaming blossoms. Our blossoms are going to be set to strong. And the first place we're going to place blossoms is going to be over on this side. But let's go ahead and get another Siren down to protect our blossoms and that core. And then I'm going to put yet another Siren down just right in the middle of this right-hand side set of stairs. And let's go ahead and get our blossoms down. Now, we want the blossoms so that they're going to cover copter ogres, but additionally, they're going to shoot down the lane. to, help out against the ground ogres, particularly on this side, since the ground ogres do get pretty heavy duty here. And basically, I want the right side of the blossom. Let me go ahead and hide that. To basically line up right down the path. That way we get as much coverage into the air lane as possible to get those copter ogres good and blasted. We're going to give these guys a buff beam, of course. Everything is fully runed. I do not have the gas trap rune on. Let me double check on that just to make sure. Yeah, I'm not using the gas trap rune at all. So I haven't even tried it to see if it would work. The gas trap rune, of course, even with the changes, sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it's not going to work out. I'm not certain if it's going to work out on this one or not. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're inside of a siren bubble, so we're going to give as much protection as we can to these blossoms. And these guys are going to take care of ogres in that lower lane, but additionally, they're going to shoot up into the spawn at that upper bridge lane and give us a little upfront clearing there as well. Alright, now we do have copter ogres that are going to come in directly across that side. We've got more copter ogres that are going to come in from back here, and we are going to address those with just some more blossoms. So I'm going to just come right in front of where the root is, and we're going to get 2 blossoms pointed towards this lane, making sure that we are covering that little line of sight window we have between the top of the stairs there. And we are going to do that once again. Now, I got these pretty far over. The reason I put them here is we wanted to just extend out enough where we have a blossom pointed this way. And then that is going to burn all the copter ogres that are going to come in from over at that side. Of course, going to give these guys a buff beam as well. And then now we've got 14 DU left. So there's several things you can do. What I've been doing is throwing owls right here. Now, if you wanted to play around with getting owls into that lower lane, you would move this stack of owls we're going to place over to this side. You can get them in. It's a little bit sketchier on this side. You can get them in like right here along this ledge. You can also put them down here, and they will shoot down into that lower lane. However, I've been putting them right here. It's good last resort coverage, and additionally, it basically covers this entire side of the map. So we're going to go with 3 owls here, making sure we get them inside of our siren bubble. Depending on the quality of your siren bubble rune, you might have to move them over a little bit further, or whatever. So we got 2 DU left. You can kind of do whatever you want with the 2. You can throw down a couple of mushrooms. I am just going to leave it alone. So let's go ahead and get everything good and upgraded, and we'll let this map go for a wave and show you all what kind of the wave looks like here. Now, a couple important things to note. At a wave 96 start, you do not have enough mana to get everything upgraded. So I did prioritize this stack. I didn't upgrade the ensnare or the gas trap. I didn't upgrade anything on this stack. Over here, I made sure to get the buff beam upgraded all the way, but I just threw, 3 upgrades on our blossoms. I did upgrade these to full, as these guys are going to be putting in some work. And then all of the change that was left over afterwards, I threw into these owls. So, we do get the big ogre push on that lane. So, as I mentioned, if you're playing solo, you're going to want to get a striking gemstone on this stack. I am using a striking and a speedy. If you're playing in a 2-player group, you would want a second person with a striking on this stack. If you're doing it 3 and 4 players, the 3rd player and the 4th player, you would probably want either on Monk or Apprentice Tower boosters, or just having people run around the map and blazing down ogres as you see fit. Now, for this one, I am parked on this stack, yet I'm going to be buffing like right where the siren sits. As you see, by buffing right here, just right about the siren, you're going to be able to hit these 2 blossoms, these blossoms, and the 3 owls. So it makes it a little bit easier to keep things all buffed up. In addition to that, you're also going to be flash healing both of the aura stacks, so you won't have to do anything with the aura stacks really. as you go. Now, after Wave 96, we will be able to get everything on the map maxed out. But let's take a look at the TAC map, and you can see how things are going. You see the copter that is coming in from over on the east side of the map. He's going to start getting burned. What, just past the bridge? Let's see. Yeah, he's going to start getting burned as soon as he passes the bridge. And then he will make it actually really close to landing over on that side. Actually, I lost something. Oh, we got a Jin sneak up. That does not happen super often. Actually, what all did the Jin take? The Jin took everything from over there. That is definitely a rarity. But, you know, those things do happen. I think the answer there would be to position that Beaming Blossom a little bit closer around on that side. So what we'll do is we'll get it corrected, and then we'll let it go another wave, since this one is clearly not a very good example. You see that one blossom that is pointed south is just going to nuke those copter ogres that come in right away. So you don't have to worry about those at that side at all. And then with the owls and that one blossom, we're still covering the lower lane ogres here in Wave 96, even though everything over on that side basically got shit on. We will have to worry about that east side copter coming in now, though. We've only got one blossom over there, and it's unbuffed. So let's see. Now you'll see when the copter hits right when it's about to land, it kind of puts on the brakes. So, you know, with that in mind, you don't really have to worry a ton about those copters, but you do want to be conscious of their existence, because, you know, they will cause problems for you if you're not careful. So now I think we lost that other blossom as well. Yeah, we lost a blossom, so we got nothing going on over there at all. Let's see if the owls are able to take out this copter. This one could end up being a problem. Nope, the owls still got it done, so no problem with the copter ogres coming in there. Actually kind of makes me wonder if I even need the blossoms on that side. I mean, they're there for the ground lane ogres more than the copters for sure. As you saw, the owls just got it done. Yeah, see, these ground ogres are pushing up. The owls are putting in a lot of work to them. Looks like just on Wave 96 we'll be good. What's happening with that one? No, we're good there still, too. For Wave 96, we're fine. If this was a Wave 346 start going after Corgis, this would no doubt have lost. This would have been a fail run from that one. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think the owls are what should be taking out those Jin. But since I didn't put any upgrades on the owls, they don't have the range that I need. So I think the Blossom was probably placed fine, but the owls are not getting over there and taking out the Jin, where, you know, the Jin is very high on the targeting priority list when you have special selected, but clearly that was not good enough. So, you know, thinking back at it now, you would definitely want those owls upgraded. The range on those guys have to be upgraded. Owls, like lots of other defenses, do get a nice fat bonus to their range just from the upgrades. So since I did nothing... Oh, actually, I did upgrade those all the way. All right, so the owls weren't the problem. It had to have been that Blossom. So let's go ahead and fix things back up. We'll let it run one more wave since that one was a choker. Let's go ahead and get our... we'll get our Siren back. And then we will get these Blossoms back here. Try this one more time. And then I think I'm going to adjust that other Blossom as well. Like I said, not game-breaking enough to end the run. If that was a Wave 346 start, it probably would have ended the run. But since that was a Wave 96 start, that was not really too bad of a problem. But let's adjust it on the fly, as that is not an issue I've seen yet. I have never had that problem happen. And we take a look. Yeah, I think this Blossom here just needs to be turned around a little bit further to give a little gen coverage on that lane. So we'll get it back down here, and we'll just make sure we're covering the gap of the stairs, but we'll let it go a little bit more around to the right there. Let's go ahead and get it upgraded back all the way. And since we've got the mana now, we'll go ahead and get everything else upgraded as well. Looks like we've got all that. We don't have to worry about the gas or anything there. I would like to get these upgraded the rest of the way, though. Alright, so those are all jacked up. Siren's all jacked up. Actually, I think we've got everything now, probably. We'll get this stack squared away now. This stack, the reason I didn't prioritize upgrades on it is it's just, you know, we're sitting on it with the striking and with a speedy. So, like, this electric aura is putting in work. And then we could get this stack finished off as well. Alright, and now we should be full upgraded. So let's get back over here and assume the position and see how this one runs and see what's up with that uppity gen there. Let's just go ahead and let it fly. And let's go right to the attack map here. And see what was going on. I think that gen will get burned off now. Alright, here comes the gen. He's going for it. Alright, gen got burned. So yeah, moving that blossom around appears to have taken care of that problem, and things should be running smooth. It's just that one gen, so just got to make sure that one gen is covered. In addition, maybe changing the owls, and instead of being on special, have them on air. That might actually make them prioritize that gen as well, because should have no problem with line of sight with those owls there. But we should have a pretty smooth running map now. Let's let this next wave of ogres roll in, and you see they're just taking a beating right down below. No problem at all. Copter ogre rolling in over to the east side. And yeah, just no problem there also. So that one gen was an issue, so make sure you have that lane covered for the gen. If you do a build like this one. I've actually done a lot of waves now on this one. I think I only had like wave 130 unlocked prior to all the CDT updates, and I've taken it up. I don't remember exactly where I'm at, but it's like high 400s or low 500s on this one now, and it's using this build. Only difference is I did play it 2-player. Maybe the 2-player is affecting it as well, where the second player was sitting on that other stack. Seems to be running smooth enough now, though. We just had that one hiccup in the first wave. Well, it looks like we got that one covered now without any major issue. So yeah, anyway, though, you'll find that this map is not super difficult to do, and it's also not super difficult to push up above 350, so you can get yourself those eddies. But you'll find that the map runs so tragically slow, particularly at that tier, that it can cause some problems without a doubt. You know, you can let it run overnight, and you might only get 50 to 100 waves. It's just a very, very slow runner. Maybe there's a better build that gets a little spawn campier that would make this one run quicker. That is always a possibility. However, this was the kind of the build I just started off with, trying to get myself a Golden Monkey King, and I just stayed with it the entire time, and it's been going pretty well for me, that is for sure. Now that we've got that gen issue squared away, it looks like we got a stuck copter too, which I don't recall that happening very often. But it's happening right now. Looks like it might be... Yeah, I don't know what it's stuck on. The owls are actually trying to get to it. That's impressive. There we go. Looks like it just timed out. But anyway, there it is, y'all. The Wave 100 rock farming build. You're going to get Golden Monkey King farming build. You're going to get yourself a Monkey King at Wave 100, and then every 5 waves after that. And hopefully somebody gets a good one. I've yet to see a Supreme yet, but I've got high hopes. You know, I'd love to see a Supreme Monkey King. This, of course, is the highest single target DPS pet in the game. So I definitely want to get myself a nice shiny version of this one and see how it does. But anyway, that will get it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Take it easy.